good, everybody? Welcome in to the Early Edge, your daily sports betting brand of record. We are powered, as always, by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all of sports betting, and it's not close. I'm in a great mood this morning for a lot of reasons. You may have noticed I'm not in the friendly confines. We're on the road in wine country. One of my heroes, Brett Saberhagen, World Series champion, doing him a solid tonight. But I'm also in a great mood because my boys, my crew came through strong yesterday. How about our college football show? Tommy, Jake, Chip, Micah, 12-3. I'm not a math major, but that's pretty good. That's pretty good. But we also had the morning show, and we did good there as well. 8-4, so collectively 20-7 yesterday, and that is great no matter what you're talking about. However, that was yesterday, and today is today, and look at the stars that I have. Three of the best that America has to offer. First and foremost, he named this show. It is Sunday Brunch for a reason. Live from Nashville, Tennessee, the penthouse level. M Squared. Mikey, good morning.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, everybody. Happy to be here for Sunday Brunch, week 2 of the NFL season. Some really fun games. A lot of injuries already. Some pretty meaningful ones as well. Should be fun to see what happens today.
No doubt about it. There's also a lot of big spreads. Now, he is the NFL mind that we all wish that we had. Also a savage on social media. R.J. White, the stoic one. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Coach. It's a second straight Sunday of NFL and still no Buffalo football. So what's going on there? You know, for years, they would always play on Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern because nobody wanted to watch them. Now they're on primetime every week, apparently. So got to wait till tomorrow to watch my Bills, but it should be a fun Sunday anyway.
I'm sure you're still going to be laughing and joking and having a good time. And, of course, when you're on with your counterpart, the Maestro, Larry Hartstein. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, everyone. I got a chance to look at what RJ and Mike sent in, and I actually like their props even more than mine, and I already love mine for today's show, but let's get it. I wish I had come up with their props.
Well, I mean, that's why we're a team. That's why we're a crew. And by the way, we have a busy day, as always, here at the brand. Not only do we have this show coming up at noon Eastern, we have a game-by-game Sunday kickoff show all the way up until 1 p.m. Eastern time. Then tonight, 7:30 Eastern time, we count down to Sunday Night Football. Kind of look back on the bets that we cashed and look ahead to the game tonight. But this is about today, so let's get into it. Storylines that could affect the betting lines. And I got to tell you, Maestro, we're going to start with you because there's a game that's getting a lot of attention, but there's some names that will not be on the field. Dolphins, Ravens, let's go.
This is a fascinating matchup. We just learned that J.K. Dobbins will officially not play today, but the bigger story in my mind from the Ravens side, their top 3 corners, talking about Humphrey, Peters, and Stevens, all questionable, and they elevate Darryl Worley from the practice squad. That's a journeyman. That's a bad sign when that happens because it tells you one of those guys, maybe 2 of those guys, won't be able to play. 2 of them played last week and played very well against the Jets, and with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, you don't want to be down 2 or maybe all 3 of your top corners. But on the other side, for Miami, why I'm not rushing to play Miami is I got to see what Teron Armstead's status is. He's the left tackle. They lost their right tackle last week, Austin Jackson, but that was not a huge loss because Greg Little is a solid backup. But if Armstead's out, they're going to move Little to the left side. They're going to have to move 3 positions to make up for him. And he was, after Tyreek Hill, their biggest offseason acquisition. A lot of things to watch on that injury report for the Ravens Dolphins.
And I'm sure we're going to see a lot more during that noon to 1 hour to keep our minds on that as well. Now, very important question in the chat from my man Joe. Has R.J. White ever smiled? Now, he smiles when he gets a chance to look at line movement. He smiles when he gets to look and see what games that we can still play after our Tuesday mega preview that we tell you to watch every single week because that's the most important show of the week, as Mikey always says. So, R.J., talk to me.
I smile when line movement goes my way, too. The Carolina Giants game, the Washington-Detroit game, earlier in the week, you could have got 2.5 in both of those games. We've seen the Detroit game now come back down to pick 'em. That's what the look-ahead was. Issues with Detroit injury. DeAndre Swift was questionable. Looks like he's going to play, but be on a limited snap count. So seems like people are backing the Washington side, which I like. So I'm glad for that. Carolina Giants, it's down to 1. That might not be as big an injury focus there, but Giants are down a couple of pass rushers in that game. So we'll see how they come out there. Both those lines were great teaser legs earlier in the week. Now you can't tease them anymore at 1 and pick them. Another line move that just happened, the Patriots just moved up to 3. First time all week they've been favored by 3 over Pittsburgh. People are really worried about TJ Watt not being able to play in that game. And Mac Jones now cleared, fully practiced back. He's good to go. So people are expecting a good game from the Patriots there.
Oh, we may have a little surprise for you as well. You got to wait till the end of the show to get it. I tell you all the time, you can't just look at the recap screen. Quick question, Mikey, in the chat. Do I start Judy or Mike Thomas?
Whew. Judy has more upside, in my opinion, in this game, but Michael Thomas has a little safer floor. I think he's still going to get peppered with targets. So I would lean – it depends on what you want. Do you want the upside or do you want the floor? But, yeah, like them both. I'm playing Judy in DFS a little bit because I'm looking for upside there. Don't really care about the floor too much. So hopefully that helps.
I don't always worry about the floor either. I like upside. I'll take upside. All right, now it's time to get into our board for the day. Now, before I get to Mikey, because you know he's going to start, we've got one play from SportsLine itself. Now, we can't forget about Major League Baseball. It's been better as of late, but there is one play. Even though Manoah's on the mound, there is one play that always comes in. Yesterday it did, and it will again today. Orioles, Blue Jays, -105 over 8. It's at 8 simply because Manoah's on the mound, but he's been great early in the year. Lately, he's been touched up a little bit. We like this over sitting at 8, -105. Now, I told you I'm in wine country. I can't scream. I can't be loud. So I've got to be a little bit softer. But, Mikey, you know the drill, son. Oh, it's Sunday. It's week 2. We're settled in, coming off an unbelievable day. But this is today. So, give it to me.
All right, player prop time. We're headed to Arizona versus Vegas here. Greg Dortch, over 41.5 receiving yards, -115. Still available at Caesars and DraftKings here. Love the spot for him. Played 59 of 65 offensive snaps in week 1, 9 targets, caught 7 of them. Very electric after the catch as well. He has the upside to literally get this in one play on an 8-yard pass from Kyler Murray. The most important thing is how often Murray looked to him and how much chemistry they seem to have early. I personally think that Rondale Moore might be in trouble for his job. He's obviously out this week, which is why we have so much interest in Dortch. But I think he's already got better chemistry with Kyler Murray. I think Murray trusts him a lot more in this spot. And finally, here in this game, we're projecting a neutral to negative game script most of the way. Again, when we look at players like this, we want players who have the ability to rack up yards after the catch because of the kind of catches that we're expecting here. If you want to sprinkle, if you don't like the 41.5 for whatever reason, I do also like his longest reception over 17.5 yards. I feel pretty strongly that he will have at least one 20-yard play in this game. So let's go Greg Dortch over 41.5 receiving yards.
That's what my crew does, giving you bonus picks within the pick. Now, JoJo in the chat says, I'm just imagining Coach walking through the vineyards while the games are on. JoJo, that might be a little bit of a sticking point with the better half. You know what I'm saying? Let's not bring that up on a Sunday in wine country when she is here. Okay? Now, RJ White. Now I'm thinking about you walking through the vineyards on a Sunday. But, sir, you are up, and I cannot wait for more picks from my man. Let's go.
First play is going to be over 48.5 in the Commanders-Lions game. This was 49 early in the week. Tipped down a little bit with the injuries that the Lions have on the offensive side. This is all about these two defenses. Washington allowed 6.2 yards per play in week 1. Detroit gave up 6.3 yards per play. These are two teams that are willing to give up big plays and consistent chunks on the offensive side. Swift does look like he'll be available. He's probably going to play a full complement of snaps there. I think we should be targeting Detroit overs many weeks with the improved offense they have and bad defense. So I like taking them over on this, especially now that it's slipped down to 48.5. The other play I use Greg Dortch in DFS because I listened to Mike McClure on the Fantasy Football Today DFS podcast. Another guy I'm using in DFS is Ashton Doolin. I got his over 34.5 receiving yards, -131. Everyone that had at least 4 targets against Jacksonville last week got to 40 yards. And Doolin had 6 targets in that game, in his game got to 46 yards. Now he may be the primary receiver with Michael Pittman out. So I think he's going to get at least 6 targets here. We've seen that people that have 6 targets have success against that Jacksonville secondary that's going to allow busted plays. Shaq Griffin looks like he's a problem. And I think a lot of teams are going to get a lot of passing yards on them. So Ashton Dulin over 34.5 receiving yards seems like a pretty safe play to me.
He's a problem. How many fantasy leagues are you in, RJ?
9, I think.
Oh my God, 9. I'm just dipping my toe into the water. I'm playing fantasy for the first time ever in my life. I'm an owner. I hired a GM. Dave is my GM. We're undefeated. 1-0. All right, now we've heard from Mikey. We've heard from the Stoic one, but you know that we cannot complete a show without the Maestro. So, Maestro, I know you love their picks, but damn it, I love yours too. The floor is yours.
I love these two as well, and I'm going to start with Damian Harris for the Patriots running back. Over 9.5 receiving yards. Ty Montgomery is out, and the only other running back to play on third downs last week was Harris. It wasn't Stevenson. Harris got more pass routes. He got 3 targets. He had 2 catches for 10 yards. There wasn't even a 2-minute drill last week for the Patriots. I think he could get this in 1 catch, but I think he's going to get at least 3 targets today. I love this play, Damian Harris, over 9.5 receiving yards. And then the other one, Christian Kirk. You know, we've seen these big name acquisitions talking about A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams, and Christian Kirk. They spent a fortune on him, get peppered in week 1 with targets. Like, they spent big, they're going to justify it. Well, he had 12 targets, 6 catches, 117 yards last week against Washington. The Colts defense dealing with a lot of injuries. Brandon Cooks just went off for 82 yards against them. I love Christian Kirk's number at 58.5. Got that over 58.5. I think we're looking at double-digit targets again from Trevor Lawrence.
I cannot wait for this to come in just like you predicted it. Man, I love the NFL, and I love these plays. Renaud, Coach, I love this is a respectable show because you know my 11-year-old daughter is listening and waiting for you to say it looks. I'll get to that. Hang tight, little one. Hang tight. All right. Grab your paper. Grab your pencil. Here is the recap, courtesy of my man on the 1s and the 2s. Damian Harris, over 9.5 receiving yards. Christian Kirk, over 58.5 receiving yards. That's from the Maestro. Then M-squared 1 play so far. He'll be on the noon show. As always, Greg Dortch, over 41.5 receiving yards. And literally in the chat, Pooh Bear said, I watched the line move as Mikey gave it out. It happens. My guys, they're market movers. RJ White, Commanders Lions, over 48.5. I've already banged that one. Ashton Dulin, over 34.5 receiving yards. Then 1 play from baseball. Orioles, Blue Jays, over 8. Why? Because it cashes every single day. Now, in the chat, John says, Coach, RJ M-squared, and the Maestro, the Fantastic Four. And when AB comes on, it's the Fab Five. Let's get this. AB, show your face. Where's that big old fat smile that I love so much? There it is. Good morning, sir. You and the crew. Are you kidding me yesterday?
Man, I'll tell you what, it was the crew. I mean, it really wasn't me. Like, they crushed it, man. Proud of those guys. And what about our guy? Jake Fettner comes on. First time ever being on. And just goes 4-0, undefeated. Also, I have to say, RJ White is hilarious, but his funniest moments are when, like, you bring up a joke of, like, him walking through wine country. He completely no-sells it and goes right into an Ashton Dulin prop. Like, that's RJ, and it's just Hall of Fame best.
All right, big boy, what do you got for us today?
Yep, so our pick 3 today, we've got first Browns team total over 23.5 going against the Jets. This game will be a little bit tighter than people do think, but the Browns should get themselves 24 points or more, and we get that at plus money. The no-fly zone is open for business today. We are going Carson Wentz over half an interception minus 125. We're already on Geno Smith over half an interception. We're on Davis Mills over half an interception. And we got more Ryan Tannehill on Monday night. Wanted to get this in before this price goes all the way up. And as RJ said, usually the Bills, they are on Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern, Monday Night Football, home opener against the Titans tomorrow night. And, buddy, let me say it could be a bloodbath for the Titans. I think the Bills might handle their business. So those are the 3 that we've got.
You know what, AB? I think those 3 plays look absolutely glorious. Oh, that feels so good. Quickly, Timothy in the chat. Fun bet. Most rushing yards, Michael Carter, Kareem Hunt, Barstool. Hunt seems like a good play. Mikey, let me come to you. AB, thank you.
Yep.
Let me get unmuted here for a second. So you got Carter. I'm just going to straight from my projections here. Carter and Hunt.
Kareem Hunt. Prop Stars is on Kareem Hunt's combo play already from our Friday show, by the way.
Yeah, I prefer Hunt through the air more than the running. So I actually lean Carter if it's just straight rushing yards. I think most of Kareem Hunt's work is going to come in the passing game.
All right. Very, very good. If you have any more questions, tune in at noon. Put them into the chat. When we're talking about a game, we talk about every single game. Then and only then can you get that answered as well. Now, a bonus. We always look ahead. We're always trying to beat the line. The name of the show is The Early Edge. RJ, give the people just a little bit more.
One look ahead play for next week. We got the Texans +3 at the Bears. If Houston shows any life versus Denver, this line's going to reopen under 3 before the Chicago Green Bay game. That's obviously the Sunday night game, so the lines are going to open before it's played. And then even if Chicago plays Green Bay close, I can't see anyone wanting to bet them at -3, over -3 here. So this feels like a play to make with a little downside and the potential that +3 is going to be gone. So wanted to play it now at +3 before it becomes 2.5 to 1.5 if Houston looks solid.
It matters. It matters. A lot of times people don't realize you can bet games before the other games are over. Very, very smart. And RJ's our guy on the look-ahead lines. He is the best. All right. That's a lot. That's a lot for 20 minutes. But don't worry, coming up in just a couple of weeks, think bigger. Think bigger. For right here, right now, though, I will tell you there's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know what that is. You got your marching orders. Ooh, let's take all of these Sunday tickets straight to the pay window. For my entire crew, love them all. RJ, the Stoic One, Maestro, M Squared, AB on the ones and the twos, and our entire crew that works tirelessly every single day for all of you at home. But we couldn't do it without you. The Early Edge community is growing and growing so fast, and we couldn't be happier about it. We'll see you at noon right here on the Early Edge.